In the first episode of Making the Product, I talked about how finding a can with no label at the grocery store where I worked sparked the idea for a movie. I've tried writing for years with mixed success. Eventually, I realized part of the problem was I didn't understand story structure. I read a lot about 3-act structure, but for some reason it never clicked. Then I came across an infamous screenwriting book called Save the Cat. The title comes from the idea that early in a story, the main character should do something likable, like saving a cat, so the audience roots for them. The book treats story structure almost like a formula, even telling you what page certain beats are supposed to land on, which can be very limiting, but it helped me understand why certain beats exist. Those ideas actually go back much further, from Aristotle and beyond. In the 1940s, mythologist Joseph Campbell studied myths from cultures all over the world, and noticed many of them followed a similar pattern, often called the hero's journey. In that structure, an ordinary person is pulled into an unfamiliar world, faces challenges and trials, and eventually returns changed in some meaningful way. Once I understood story structure, I had a much clearer sense of what a story needs in order to work. So I got to work writing. After finishing my first draft, I needed feedback. I didn't know any writers, so I searched online and found a site called Script Mother, where people trade script reviews. If you review other scripts, you can get feedback on your own. The notes I got were actually really helpful. The biggest change came from the main character. Originally, he was a cool outsider named Johnny, but as the themes of the story became clear, he evolved into Dexter Knoll, a nervous, slightly fidgety robot engineer looking for help in a world that's pushed him aside. Eventually, I brought in 2 friends to help develop the script, Cisco Gilliland and Tim Ziegler. They've both been extremely helpful, bouncing ideas around and offering some tough but honest criticism that helps strengthen the story. After several more rewrites, it was time to move on to the next step, storyboards. But since this film is animated, the storyboards would eventually become something called an animatic, basically a rough version of the movie with temporary dialogue, sound, and timing. So I decided to jump straight to that. Because I'm dyslexic, figuring out camera angles and character positions in a world that only exists in my head can be tricky, especially with things like the 180-degree rule. The 180-degree rule is a filmmaking guideline that says the camera should stay on one side of an imaginary line between 2 characters. If you cross that line, suddenly everyone flips directions on screen. So to help with that, I used wooden artist mannequins. I posed them like actors in a scene, photographed them, and then used those photos as reference for drawing my shots. For the dialogue, I recorded all of the lines myself and used 11 labs to transform my voice into several different characters. This helped me hear the scenes more clearly while building the animatic. However, I don't plan to use AI voices in the final film. My goal is to have real actors bring these characters to life. After recording the dialogue, I added temporary music and sound effects. At that point, I had basically made the movie already, just in rough form.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of people.
First time here?
Affirmative.
Oh, Dexter, the Prophet can teach you much more than that. They are very wise. Let us consult them. Greetings, Prophet.
Hello, Eamon. How can I assist you?
Welcome home, Dexter. How did it go?
Where did you go, little fella?
Now the next step is building the film again, this time working toward the final version of the product with real actors. If you'd like to follow along as the project develops, subscribe for future episodes of Making the Product. If you're watching this on Facebook, there's also a YouTube link in the comments.